Well, hello, everybody, and welcome back to another daily devotion. Yesterday, we finished up chapter 7, and so today we are diving into chapter 8. Jesus has just finished the Sermon on the Mount, and now he's going to kind of go off on a journey of healing and miracles or miraculous healings. He's got a bit of a jaunt here, where we're going to go through some stories of healing and miracles, and again, miraculous healings. So I'm recording this one to be broadcast on Thursday morning of March 24th. Next week, I'm actually going to be in Omaha for a few days, and so I'm going to be tomorrow pre-recording a bunch of these devotions that I put up on Facebook and onto LinkedIn every day. So they will be on YouTube. So if you want to get ahead over the weekend, there will be ahead a few videos. So, with that, let's jump into chapter 8 in Matthew's Gospel. We're just going to look at the first 4 verses today. So, verses 1 to 4 in chapter 8. When Jesus had come down from the mountain, great crowds followed him, and there was a leper who came to him and knelt before him, saying, Lord, if you choose, you can make me clean. He stretched out his hand and touched him, saying, I do choose, be made clean. Immediately his leprosy was cleansed. Then Jesus said to him, See that you say nothing to anyone, but go, show yourself to the priests, and offer the gift that Moses commanded as a testimony to them. Okay, so Jesus is coming down from the mountain. He has come down from the mountain, and people are flocking to him now. Had they heard about the sermon, or are they hoping for healing? We don't know yet, because he hasn't started healing at this point yet. After the Sermon on the Mount, anyway. And this leper comes to him. Now that's significant, because the leper comes before him and prostrates himself before Jesus, and at a close distance, because Jesus actually reaches down and touches him. So he's come right up to Jesus, which is not permitted. He is unclean. He's supposed to stay 6 feet or more, 10 feet actually, I think it is, away from everyone. We have this 6 foot number in our head anymore. But he's not, and if he's coming through a town, he's supposed to be crying out, unclean, unclean, so people get away from him, so that he can pass through without getting close enough to make anyone unclean. So you don't want to be unclean. So here he has come right through the crowd, and right up to Jesus, and knelt down before Jesus, and Jesus has done something he's not supposed to do. You're not supposed to touch unclean. And Jesus has reached out and touched him, and through the touch, he says, be made clean, and he is immediately healed from his leprosy. Now, we don't know how advanced his leprosy is. I've heard people try to say, well, he was a long ways along and he was worried about dying. It doesn't say that. He has leprosy. He's unclean. We don't want to dilute the significance of that. He shouldn't be there. He knows he shouldn't be there. Jesus knows he shouldn't be there, and Jesus knows he shouldn't be touching him. But Jesus touches him anyway, because the idea always was that something unclean made something clean unclean. All right, and normally that's the way it would be. If you've got something that's infected with bacteria or what have you, and you touch it, and you put it in your mouth or what have you, you're likely to get sick. If it's a bacteria that's going to make you ill, most bacteria don't make you sick, just so you know. Your body fights them off just fine. But if it's, you have been made unclean, you are contaminated now. You don't want contamination, and the contaminated makes the clean contaminated. That's the normal way that it works in this world. You put a little bit of sewage water into clean water, and if you've got a glass of clean water or a bottle of clean water, and you put a little sewage in there, the whole bottle is ruined. Now, you don't want to be drinking that. That's nasty, as they say. But that's not how it works with God. God is so clean. He is not clean in the way we think of clean. He cleanses things. He takes things away. He removes that sin. And so the sin in our lives is removed when we reach out and touch, when we have that that relationship, that contact with Christ. Now, granted, we don't physically touch Christ, but by, again, staying in the Word, having that relationship that we want to have with Christ, He touches our lives. And through His touching our lives, we are cleansed. That which was murky, dirty water now becomes clean water one can drink. That worked out well for me because I needed a drink. Any rate, that's what's going on here. And it's topsy-turvy. The crowd is like, what in the world is he doing touching him? Now, Jesus tells him to go to the priest. Now, remember, we're in Matthew. This is a very Jewish gospel. There is a criteria you're supposed to follow. Now, Naaman is the only one healed of leprosy in the Old Testament. And we kind of start to think that it was no big deal healing these lepers, that when Jesus is running around doing it, and then the disciples do it. But up until that point in time, there's been this one, and he wasn't even a Jew that was healed in the Old Testament. And so here Jesus said, but yet they had in their law the procedure that if you're healed, you go and show yourself to the priest so they can confirm that you are healed. So he tells him to go and present himself to the priest and offer the sacrifice that he is supposed to offer. There is a sacrifice set out, even though nobody is doing it, because nobody's being healed. So he can go do that. But the point is that when you remember, he wasn't supposed to get anywhere near people. He was supposed to cry out, unclean, unclean. He's not in, he's disconnected from his social network, he is cast out of society. He's an outcast, literally. And so for him to be reintegrated into the society, into the temple, into his faith, into being Jewish for him, he needs to go and present himself to the priest and do the sacrifice, all those things, the gift that Moses commanded as testimony to them, so that he can be brought back into the fold. He is black and he is reconciled. Remember, we talk about reconciliation. So that's what's going on with the story of the leper. Tomorrow I will be recording verses 5 to 13. We'll be talking about them, and that's Jesus healing the centurion's servant. All right. So with that, I'm going to let you go for today. Please have a very blessed day, and please, please, please be a blessing to someone today. Tell them about Jesus. That'd be a great way to bless somebody, don't you think? Bye-bye. God bless.